In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to build your own outbound lead qualification caller that integrates directly into your CRM. We'll cover how to set up a webhook to capture new lead submission, process that data to send our AI voice caller to that lead, qualify them, and update our CRM. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jonas Massie, founder of EsplanadeAI. We specialize in leveraging AI to streamline businesses' processes, making businesses more efficient and productive. If you're a business owner looking to integrate AI in your business, be sure to check out the link below and you can get in touch with myself. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now let's quickly go through the tools we'll be using for this automation. First off, we'll be using Tally to manage and create our contact form. Secondly, we'll need AirTable, which will be our database to store our leads. Next, we'll be using Vapi to create and edit our AI voice assistant. And finally, Make. Make will be the backbone of our automation, seamlessly connecting Airtable and Tally all together to ensure the right actions are taken and this automation runs smoothly. Okay, let's talk about setting up your Tally form and connecting it to our Airtable. First, we'll head over to Tally form and create our lead contact form. To do that, if you haven't seen my last video, lead engagement automation, I go into detail on how to create something like that, but let's go into it again. You can hit get started with templates if you don't want to spend hours creating your own thing. Go to template gallery and we have a wide array of different templates we can choose from. But for now, let's just click contact form. Cool, that looks good. The main things we want to collect here are their first name and phone number, as well as email. So let's just use this template. Cool, phone number, first name, email. I'm just gonna get rid of that. We don't need that. We've got a little thank you page and we'll hit publish. You can see your share link here, which you can connect with your website. We can go into integrations, and as you can see, we have integrations to Airtable and Make, but we'll use Make separately. So firstly, we need to create a database that corresponds with the fields in our Tally form. So to do that, let's head over to Airtable. We'll create a new Airtable form, start from scratch, and look at this. Firstly, let's just rename our base. I'm gonna name it test, and we can rename the table name to contact or something like that. And we can see here, we have a bunch of different columns. These columns need to correspond to our Tally form. So for this first one, let's just edit that. In our Tally form, our first field is first name. We can right click on this, insert to the right, and then we can add our last name here. Single line text is good, drag that over there. We'll get rid of notes, don't need that. We'll create another field to the right, and this is gonna be our email. And we can go down here and look for email, create that field. The next one is going to be our phone number, name that, hit phone number, cool. And we can actually leave status here because this will be the status that updates when a lead is qualified or not qualified or a call is in progress. So we can just double click into this and we can edit these fields. Something like that, hit save. We'll create just one more field that we'll need within Make. So we'll make a created field, and this will be the time our record was entered. Cool, now we have our Airtable set up. Let's head into Tally and map everything. So back over to Tally, let's look for integrations, and you'll see Airtable here. Go ahead and hit connect, and you can name this whatever we want. Let's just do test. Make sure this is the account of your Airtable. Select our base, and that's gonna be test. Select the table, contact, and we'll map the fields. So whatever Tally field corresponds with our Airtable field. So firstly, let's do first name, last name. Oh, sorry, first name, add last name corresponds to our last name. Next is the email, which corresponds to our email field. And then our phone number corresponding to our phone number. These are the only ones we need to map because they're the only ones we're collecting in our Tally form. Go ahead and hit connect with Airtable, and you should see green. This means it's connected, and we can actually go ahead and test this now really quickly. To do that, let's hit copy link to share and we'll paste that into a new tab. Hit enter, and if we go back to our Airtable, you'll see we have first name, last name, email, phone number. But now that we have that all set up, let's go into Vapi and create our phone assistant. After that, we'll head over to Make and automate everything really quickly. I recently made a 40-minute video going into detail about how to make your own AI voice assistant in Vapi. So do check that out if you're not so familiar with Vapi. I go into extensive lengths to explain each and every part of Vapi. So in this tutorial, it'll just be breezing through it because we have a lot to cover. Firstly, we'll need to create an assistant, and starting with the assistant name, we'll make it test. That'll do. Blank template, hit create an assistant, and this will give us a blank canvas we can start creating our assistant on. First order of business is to create the system prompt. So we'll use this prompt to guide our assistant on how to approach the outbound conversation. To quickly walk through it, I'm going to paste my prompt in. That'll be given in the description, so don't worry. To quickly walk through it, we are a fake marketing agency. The task is to initiate outbound contact with warm leads discovered through our contact form, so the one we just created. We are going to ask a series of questions that qualify our lead, so the services they are after, the budget and the timeline, the qualification criteria here. This is pretty rough and can be refined at a later date, but for now it's fine. So the services the lead is after relates to a service we offer. Let's just quickly define what services we offer. So those will be the services we offer. This may not be a realistic case, but to get an idea of what I mean, we'll just use those three. The budget is $2,000 or greater a month, and the timeline is 30 days or more. It's not deterministic, this. And then I go into explain if they answer the first two questions correctly, they're qualified. If they don't, they're not. I got an example of a conversation here to help guide it and to help know what to do, but for now that's pretty good. So let's publish that, and we'll also change the model to GPT-4o cluster. Now what you can do in here to make this a stronger assistant is add a knowledge base that includes some of the business background and services they offer and the precise details of that, but for now we'll leave that out. This is something you can do in your own time. Next, transcriber we've got here. We're just going to use Nova 2 phone call for this, publish that. And then as I went through in the last video, we have a bunch more. I'll quickly set up these. So I'm going to use 11 labs, and I'm going to use what I did in the last video, which was Emily. And Emily is this one. We'll use 11 Labs Turbo. I won't change any of the voice settings here. We'll publish that. Functions we're not going to worry about in this demonstration, but we'll head over to advanced and some key things here. So our server URL here is going to be the place in which we handle post-call logic. So we'll need this to be our make webhook. We'll send an end of call report that includes the call transcript to which we can use to determine if that lead was qualified or not, but we can leave that blank for now. We'll add that in a bit. But if you come down here to server messages, all we sort of need to include is an end of call report. So let's just delete these. And that's pretty good. What we need to do now is get the details of this assistant in JSON format so we can submit a post request. How you do that is head up to the top right. We'll quickly copy our assistant ID, go up to the top right here and look for Vapi documentation. We'll have Vapi's documentation here. We're looking for API reference, and down under assistants on the left-hand side, we need to get an assistant. And this will return our assistant based on its ID that we just copied. In your authorization header, put your API key in. But for now, let's just put the ID in. The authorization will be bearer space your API key. So if you come back to your Vapi dashboard, go into your account, API key, copy this one and paste that in there. You'll be good to go. We'll hit send. and then we have a response. This is our body of our assistant that we will use in our post request. One thing we do need to do here is we'll add a new value at a later date at the bottom of this JSON code. That'll be when we create a make scenario. So leave that for now and let's head over to make. Okay, in make, first we need to start getting some data from our CRM, so our Airtable. Go ahead and click Airtable and watch records. You'll add your connection up here if you haven't so already, and then we'll select our base. Click base and we'll locate the test base, our table, contact. Our trigger field is going to be created, so that's why we added that column in there, so we can sort by the created, and we can just give it a label as last name for now, that's fine. Go ahead and hit OK from now on, that's fine. Let's just run that module. We've got no new records, but now we get to create a post request that will send our AI assistant we just created to a lead that entered our contact form. To do that, we need to add another module, locate HTTP, and we're looking for make a request. Hit that and we should be good to go. So the body of our assistant that we just got from Vapi's docs will sit in here as application JSON. This will sit in here in the request content, but for now we need the endpoint URL. To send a call in Vapi, the endpoint URL is going to look like this: api.vapi.ai/call. The method is post because we are sending a call, and we need to add our headers. So all we have to do here is add our authorization header, and using that key that you copied earlier, type bearer space your API key in the value. Once you got your key in there, head down to the body, and this is where we're going to paste the details of our assistant that we just created. Make sure pass response is on. So in request content, head back over to the Vapi documentation. This is where we just got our assistant from. We can copy this, paste it in here, and look at that, it's not even formatted. A handy tool to use if you want to format JSON quickly is JSON editor. Let's quickly go into there. So this is JSON editor. It's just JSON editor online.org. Come into a new document and we can paste our code here. Come up here and we can format it for the correct indentation. But while we're at it, let's go ahead and add a few things that we'll need to initiate the call. The first thing is going to be the number ID. This is the number that the call will be made from. We'll also have to add the customer details. So in this case, this is where our lead variables will enter, including their name and number. First and foremost, let's go ahead and add the phone number ID. To do that, hit enter, phone number ID, colon, and we'll leave that as an empty key value. Next thing, we'll add our customer details, open curly brackets, and we'll include the number as a key, leave that blank for now, and also the customer name. Include that and good to go. Next, we'll add a comma here, hit enter, and then we're gonna add assistant. This is naming the below code as our main assistant we'll be using. So space open curly brackets, we'll just delete that and we can add the curly bracket down the bottom to close everything off. There's a few things we also don't need, including the ID and organization ID. We can just delete those. We also don't need the created at and updated at. Delete those. That should be pretty much it for this. We can come down here and now add our server URL. We can just hit enter and type server URL, add that, and we'll make that as an empty key. Just hit auto repair for all this stuff. We probably can get rid of this now. Okay, so we have our server URL, which we need a webhook for, so we can go into a second make scenario and create that webhook. Before I'll do that, let's just create an assistant first message. This will be what the assistant says as soon as we answer the call. So we can type first message here. So we'll type that there and then we'll add a key value. And this will be something like, hello, am I speaking to name? So hi, is this Jonas? We'll call it that for now. And that should be all we have to edit from this JSON construct. What we can do now is go over to that second make scenario, create our webhook, and then what we'll do is paste the server URL, and then we're almost done. In your new scenario, we're going to hit add and search up Vapi. We're looking for watch end of call report here. Hit that and we'll add a new webhook. Call it something like that. Save, copy address to clipboard, hit OK, come back over to your JSON editor and paste the URL in here. Awesome, that's pretty much good to go. We can now go back to our first make scenario after we copy this up here, copy formatted, come into here and we can paste this in. So now we have these customer variables that we can pass in from our Airtable. So firstly, let's do number. This will be our phone number. Our name will be the first name, and then come down to the first message and we'll change this also to the first name. Hit OK, and before this can be run, we need to go into Vapi and update some details there. We'll go into advanced, and using the webhook we just made, we'll paste it into the server URL, copy this, paste in here. So if you haven't already connected a phone number, to do that, head over to the left-hand side, hit phone numbers, and this is where you'll import your Twilio phone number or Vonage phone number. This is why we put the phone number ID in our JSON construct. If you don't have a number already, you can import one from Twilio, sign up to Twilio, you get a free number on your trial account. You'll paste in your Twilio account SID and authentication token, hit import, and you're good to go. I'm going to use this one. So what you see here is our phone number ID. We'll copy that while we're at it. Come back to our first scenario and we can paste that in. So finally, everything's set up. We'll hit OK, and now let's go ahead and run this. There's an error there, but what we can do is, I forgot one thing here. We need to change this first message with a capital M. Before it was this, just capitalize that M and we're good to go. Before we run that, actually, let's go to our second make scenario and we'll run this module, and this will be waiting for the call data. So we can now initialize this call, right click, run this module only. Use some of this, hit OK. That's good, and I'm receiving a phone call. I'll just hang up. And here we go. Okay, so yeah, it reached my voicemail, I hung up. But now we have some data to use in this. So what we can do now, seeming our first module works fine, it's watching records. It'll initiate a call to that record. All we have to do now is capture the transcript and then determine whether that lead was qualified or not. Come over into your second scenario. We'll hit Airtable or add another module. Search up Airtable, and we're going to search records here. Make sure you're authenticated, go into your base, test, table, contact, and we're going to be looking for phone number as the output field. And what we have to do here is create a formula. So it will search for the phone number as per our end of call report. To do that, you can use a formula like this. I just made this, and we're searching if the phone number is equal to the phone number here. Hit OK, and now our search records are going to search the whole row and return the record ID, which we will then use. So if I put in my phone number here, it'll return our records that are in our Airtable. That's good, because now we need to sort by transcript and then update our record. So the next thing we'll add is a router. Look for router here, and it'll bounce off two modules that we can add here. The first one, we can do Airtable again, and then we're going to be updating a record. Again, connect up. Our base will be a test. Table is our contact, and then we're using the record ID returned from our search result. Hit that, and what we're updating here is the status. So for this top one, let's assume it is booked. We'll turn off mapping. Let's assume this one is if this guy's qualified. Hit OK, and then we're going to do the same here for the unqualified. Test, table, Record ID, searching by ID from our search result. And then the status for this one is going to be unqualified. Hit OK, and now we have to filter in our transcript. So when we make a call, our end call report is going to return a transcript. We're going to search within the transcript to see if there were words like booked or consult or availability to determine whether this guy was qualified or not. Doing something very simple, we can add a filter, and the condition is our transcript, and then we can go contains and Chris. I'll explain why I did that in a second, but for the second one, we'll do the same. Transcript does not contain this time Chris. The reason it's Chris is because when a lead is qualified, as per my script, I'll show you, we suggest a booking with Chris. So if a lead is not qualified, Mary, our assistant, is not going to say this. So that's how I'm determining whether they're qualified or not. And there we go. That's all we have to do in terms of qualifying. We'll hit save on both these scenarios, but that's all the backend logic built out. Now all we have to really do is go ahead and test this, and I'll switch over to my webcam to initiate a call and show you guys the whole thing completed. Okay, what we're going to be doing here is doing a bit of a split screen so you can see both sides of this. We're going to enter the contact form, enter my number, don't call me, submit. Okay, there we go. And now our Airtable will be updated. So as you can see, a new submission at 8:26, boom. And then we're just going to be checking this status. All we have to do now is start this side of things, so we can run that. And then getting a call now, and then I'm going to jump back over to this side. Answer.
Hi, is this Jonas?
Yep.
Hi Jonas, this is Mary from Gecko Marketing. How's it going today?
Pretty good.
That's great to hear. The reason for my call today is that we noticed you entered your details on our online form. I'm just following up to get a better picture of your project. Could you give me a quick overview of what you're looking for?
Paid ads across Meta platforms.
Nice. Wonderful. Paid ads on Meta platforms are right up our alley. Did you have a budget in mind for your marketing needs?
2,000.
Perfect. That fits well within our service range. And finally, do you have a deadline or timeline you're aiming for with these paid ads?
No deadline.
Got it. Well, it sounds like you're a great fit for our services. Let's get you booked in for a consult with our marketing director, Chris. Do you have any availability?
Okay, that should be good. I'll end the call, and then end of call report will come in. Boom, and qualified because we were booked in with Chris. I'll do another call now. I'll enter a new form. I'm just going to change this number so we're not sorting by the same number. Boom, we'll just change that. Here we go, let's do another one. And then for this one, I'm gonna purposely not be qualified. Now the reason I'm doing this split screen, sorry if it looks weird, but this is to show both sides of the equation here. We'll submit that, and then we'll run that again. I'll get a call. Boom. And then this one, I'm pretty much just gonna hang up straight away. Accept.
Hey, is this Jonas?
Yes, but I'm not interested. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Jonas. This is Mary
That's all
from
right.
Gecko
Thanks.
Marketing.
Bye. So, ended, not qualified. It's going to give an end of call report now. And there we go. Perfect. So not qualified and qualified, that's both sides of this. So that is it. We managed to create an outbound lead qualification caller that calls our leads that entered our contact form. We stored the lead data in Airtable, initiated an AI caller to qualify those leads, and then we updated the lead status in our CRM. I hope you guys enjoyed This took a while to record and I hope everything came out well. If you need some clarification on some things, drop a comment below. Again, if you're a business owner looking to integrate AI voice technology in your business, check the link below and you can get in contact with myself. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week.